Yep. So is well I hmm? Wash me. Mm, yeah, this is nice. Okay. Have people started joining? Let me see. Oh, have people hi. Started joining? Let me see. Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. How are you doing? No. Okay, okay, I've seen it. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, it's nice. Good evening, everyone. Hello, hi, 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 hi. Good evening, good evening. As you can see, we've upgraded from last week. We've upgraded from last week's class, so now I can see everyone. I'm so excited. Yeah, so when I click here, I can see your comments on the screen. Can you see your comments on the screen? Oh, can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. All right. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to see everyone this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone that has submitted their assignments. And yeah, today's class promises to be great and awesome. So I'm just going to jump in a little. Oh, before we jump in, how has everyone been? Can you just put it in the chat section how you have been? I'm so excited. The fact that I can see your messages. I'm so so excited. So in the comment section, let me just know how your week has been. So how has your week been? If you did the first assignment, how was it for you? Was it easy? or was it too difficult? Good. Amazing. 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 All right. So I'm just going to give about 2 minutes more so that more people can join. Let me check on my phone. Yeah. How's your week been? If you did the first assignments, how was it for you? Was it easy? Okay. All right. Yeah, so we can just start now. Um yeah. Yeah, everyone can see it just require deep thinking. Yes, that's the one thing with design. Design always, yes. eh, I'm not sure I saw yours, Isaac. I'm not sure I did. But I'll check. I'll definitely check. You can just send it to my DMs. I don't Wait, did I see yours? I don't think I did. It was easy. Okay, that's awesome. That's very good to hear. It was easy navigating while following. Good evening. Good evening, Wheezy L. Like I've been seeing your comments, like your interaction on the group, and that's very, very good. Good evening, Auntie Lusayo. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Um, so we're going to go into today's class. We're going to go into today's class, and I know from last week we originally yeah, so from last week, this week was supposed to be for business flyer designs and presentation designs, but we are going to make a little bit of changes, and we're going to look at creating logos. We're going to look at creating logos. So if I just go back to my file, to my projects, please, if at any point you can't see my screen, please let me know in the chat section. Yeah. So this evening we're going to look at the principles of we're going to look at the principles of logo design and creating logos. Yeah. So everyone, I think a lot of people on the group are like business people. So you have your different businesses, you have your like your business, or if you're a student, say for example in future you would like to start a business. So what's the first thing that like comes to mind when you think of logo design? What's the first thing that you think about when you think about logo design? Please can you comment that in the comment section? How do I remove it? Mm. Okay, okay, awesome. Okay, yeah. All right. So I was asking that when you think of logo design, there are different things that comes to mind. So for example, I've picked like a so for this class, we're going to design a logo for a cake or a confectionery brand. So that's like someone that does either that they do cake designs, or they make cakes, or maybe a bakery or something like KFC. So from the last class we already, I don't know if you can still see my screen. Yeah, so from the last class we already established that in Canva you have different templates that you can work on and that you can use. So if I go back to design, I'll just go back to design. Let me go to files. Yeah, back to design. So I'll go back to my home page on design. So here, if I type in logo, for example, if I type in logo, you see that you have different logo templates that you can work from. So the main reason why I'm doing this is because one of the people in the group reached out and asked that they were trying to do like a movie, like a film studio logo. So if I type in film studio logo in Canva, for example, you see that automatically I have like different logo ideas that I can even work from. And you see some of them, they already have like animations and they're already animated. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to create a new logo. I want to add a new features for my logo. So what I'll do is I'll go into Canva. I'll go to my home page. So remember from last lesson, we already spoke about the different tabs. So you have this tab where it's just like for you to see further details or for you to see just very small details. So when I click on this, you see I have more things that are going on. So it shows me other things. So when I click on the home tab has your own projects, so things that you've done recently, like your own recent designs. And then it also has, so it has all your recent designs. Then on this home tab, I can search for templates. So when I go to the search button, so anywhere you see this button, there's like a magnifying glass, it means search. So when I click on it, I'll just click here and then I can type in, so if I want to do a cake brand, I'll just type in cake logo, for example. And then from here, I have multiple, all different types of logo for cake. And then I can pick one of the templates, for example. So say I pick this one. Yeah. So this one is cake shop. And then I can just click on customize this template. Similar, same thing like what we've done last week. This is just like a follow up on it. And then I can edit this cake logo. So say for example, if my business name is let's think of a business name. Let's say my business name is Beautiful Cakes. So I can type in beautiful. Then I'm just going to drag this down a bit to reduce the size of the text. And then I'll move it down. So beautiful cakes. Now, as a graphics designer, there are some core principles, like some core concepts that you need to know. And Bolaji covered that in the last class. So things like, so one of the important concepts is things like combining text. So what kind of text can you combine together to pass across the best message, like to pass across your message rightly? So for example, when I go to text in Canva, you see that it already has like these different font combinations that is telling you that okay, ideally these two fonts they work together. Ideally, you can use these different fonts and then combine them together to be able to create an idea or to sell something. So for for the logo, depending on what I want to say. So if I want it to be very, very artsy and I want to show that okay, you know what, it has like this very feminine kind of vibe, then I can use this particular logo template and then it will be fine. But say for example, the person that I'm designing for, their own brand is trying to do something else. So what do you do? Like as a graphic designer, then what are you going to do? So the first step, what you would do first is you go to Google and then you look for different types of logo that are doing what you want to do. And what you call that is called like a competitive analysis. So I'm going to do a competition analysis on the different brands that are currently doing what I want to do. So for example, say it was a film logo I wanted to create, I'll go on Google. I think I would need to share my entire screen, unfortunately. Yeah, so your brand and the on the color combination. Thank you so much. Um, just 1 second. You have to show, unfortunately. Sorry. So share, and yeah, so you guys can see my entire screen now. So I'll go on Google, and then what I'll do is, sorry, can everyone see my screen? Yep. Everyone can see my screen now, right? Yeah. So I'll go to Google, and then I'll type in, say for example, cake brand logos, enter. And then I would do like a competitive analysis to see what different cake brands are using as their logos. And then I'll just, so to bring them into Canva, oh, actually I skipped a step, sorry. So first I'll go to homepage, create a design, and then I'll just create like a whiteboard. So a whiteboard is like a thinking. So for example, when you're doing traditional graphics design, you have a sketch pad. So on your sketch pad, you can put like your different thoughts and your different ideas together. And then at the end of the day, you now start, checking out different things. And finally, you now decide that, okay, this is my final design. And that final design is now what you will end up presenting. So if I want to do a cake brand, for example, I can come here, I'll look at different types of cake brand logos, copy this image. So I just right clicked on this in your on your phone. You have to download it, or you can copy the image, and then when you go to Canva, I'll right click and then I can just paste it, and then automatically it brings it inside here, like it brings it into this interface. So what I've done is I've looked for different types of brands, different types of logos that communicates bakery, that communicates sweets like treats and things like that. And then I've created like a competitive analysis of them. So when I look at this particular logo as a graphics designer, I'm seeing that, okay, this particular one, they're combining um what do you call them now? They're combining icons, so pictures of cake themselves and text, pictures of cupcake and text, pictures of a cake and a text. When I look at this one, for example, is combining pictures of what is possible, but then the way the text is placed in it is different. So you see that things on this side, they look very similar. Whereas if you go into this other type of logo, you're seeing that this one is more of a text and an icon being combined together to create a logo. So in our own design now, when we want to do our own logo, we have different options of what we can do. We can go to text. I've shown you how to use a template. So template is the one that they've already created. You just click on it, preview, and then you can edit it. But let's say, for example, you don't want to use a template. You want to create your own customized logo. How do you go about it? So first, you do a competitive analysis. That's what I've already shown you. Then the next thing you can then do is like you can start making sketches like on a paper to just test out different ideas. Like say, oh, okay, what are the things? Or you don't even, sometimes you might not even need to test out different ideas. Another thing you can also do is that you can just go to ChatGPT, for example. So I can just go to ChatGPT, and then I'm assuming everyone is familiar with ChatGPT. So I'll just go to ChatGPT and say, what should a cake, or I can just ask for like examples of things a cake logo should have. Literally, like I just type it in there, and then it's going to tell you things like ChatGPT is loading. That's taking too long. So we're just going to, for example, we can search for fonts. I can start from these already font, these fonts that they've given us that they've combined, or I can decide that I want to create a different font entirely. So I'll just put in text, add a text box. I can move this aside. I'll scale this out a bit. And then we've so let's say the name of our cake brand is Demi Cakes. Yep. So next I can bring in elements. So bring in elements, I'll just go to element here. Then here I'm going to type in cake, and you have different graphics of cake. So if I want the cake to be like we're not using pro version, so I'll just filter down to the free version, so that's, yeah, free version, so that you can also recreate it without needing to pay. So all these cakes, I can use them in my logo design. So I can just click one of it, and then this is cake. I'll select Demi cake, and then if I go to effects, underneath effects you have other things that you can add in. So you can make this text a curve. So if I click on curve, you see that it automatically just creates this curve. But I'm going to edit this. I can like just scroll through and look for different texts that kind of that then can be, more fancy, or more design, kind of more design more design based, so that then that becomes like the outline for my logo. So yeah, I'll just go back to text. You can also pick different fonts that Canva already has. So for example, here under font, I'll just type in logo, or I can just type in cake logo. Yep. And I'll just look for one that looks like what I'm trying to create. Um, so I want the logo to have like a playful kind of vibe, not so serious. And then so I'll go to effect, and then underneath effect I can add an effect. Then underneath effect I can add like an effect. And then for the curve as well, you can edit how curve you want it to be. So say I want it to be straight, it will be at 0. If I want it to curve upwards, it will be on the other side. And then if I want it to curve downwards, it will be on this other side. So yep, so go to design, then we can check in logo. Okay, yep, sorry. Yeah, so we'll go back to home and then just type in logo designs, and then we can just like work with the one we're working with before. So now we have the first logo design, that's for beautiful cakes. So how do we export this? So there are two different ways of exporting. If you export, so when I go to share and then I go to export, if I say I want to download this, there are two different ways of downloading. It's either you download as JPEG or you download as PNG. If I download as a JPEG, that means when I download it, it's going to have a background. So I'll download it to show you guys the difference. So when I download it, it's going to have a background. Whereas if I click on it and then I click on share and then I download as a PDF, as a PNG. So when I click on download, Then when I bring it into any file, so say for example wanted to create a new design, and so let's do a design for a poster. So back to design, create a new design. Then we want to create a poster for our cake brand, because for today's class what we're doing is we'll do the logo design and then we'll use it to create a poster. So say I wanted to create a new poster, and I want it to be printed. I can just search for poster here. Yep, portrait here. So I'm going to bring in, remember all this we did it last week. So you can select this. When you select the background, you can change the color of the background. Anywhere you see this is a color. So I can change the color of the background to a different color. So if I bring in those two things that we downloaded, so I'll just go to downloads. So we've downloaded two different logos. This is the first one that we downloaded. This one, you see that it has a background on it because we downloaded it as a JPEG. Whereas if I bring in the second one, that's this one. Why does it have a background as well? Let me just go back one step. Share, downloads. Okay, I see what happens. I didn't click on transparent background. So PNG and then downloads as a transparent background. So when I bring it into this one, because it's downloaded as a PNG, I think this was the one before. Let me just refresh. Yeah. So now you see that it's coming in as something that doesn't have a background. So I know that for Canva, to remove a background is a pro act. So you have to pay for it to be able to do that. But on the Google Drive, so if I go to the drive, oh okay, this one has finally opened. Yeah, so you can ask on ChatGPT, and then you have like all these different things. So you have you can have like a cake icon, which was what I showed you, like those other brands that have like an icon, a stylized cake, cupcake. So it can be outlines. Then your color palette to be something like soft pastel colors. That's to show that it's sweet and it's fun. So your colors actually also tell a story, like the last class said. Then your typography will be fun, playful fonts to show that it's more, casual vibe, is elegant, script style font. And then you just have like the business name, which can wrap around the cake or it can be like underneath it. Then it can be, so these are like different ideas of what your logo can look like. So same for if I wanted to do it for a movie. So let's say I want to do a movie brand logo. I'll just ask for movie brand logo ideas, and then it can just give me different type of things to use. So and then let's say for example there's a particular thing that I'm looking at, that or that I'm thinking of, that I want to include in my design. So let's say I want to include a flying eagle in my logo design, comma in my movie. So you have to be very specific. My film logo design, comma, how can I use it? So ChatGPT is free. So it's not like you're not going to it's not like you need to pay for it. So you can just on your phone just type in these things, and then you get ideas, and you don't necessarily have to log in, except you want to keep that chat, then you need to log in. So here you can see like it's already giving you ideas. So position the eagles with his wings spread to symbolize freedom, and it can be like the focal point. So focal point means it can be the center of the logo, and then you have your company name in front of it, or you can have your company name wrapping around it, depending on what you're trying to create. So I was going to the drive. So I'll just go to, so inside the drive, that's the Google Drive. I think I should have shown this the last class as well. So you have the digital creation course. This is what I've shared with everyone. So you have introduction to class, that's which has today's class and the first two classes that we've done, and then this is where you submit your assignment. Now you have a folder that is called resources as well, and then underneath resources I've uploaded a document that shows you different websites that as a graphic designer you need to know. So you have websites like for inspiration, you have things like Behance. So Behance has like different kind of different type of ideas, because the thing is, the more you work, the further you go in graphics design, you start to see similarities across different things, and then you get to understand that you can't know, like you can't create in an isolation, and you can't create something outside of what other people are creating. So you can go to all these different sites, all these different places for ideas to just see you to broaden your own perspective and to sort of get a better understanding of what graphics design is. So this particular file is underneath resources, graphic design website. So you have access to this as well. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay. So back to the design that we're doing. Let me, yeah, so back to the design that we're doing. I'm just going to delete that. So we have our logo, and I'm going to make this a lighter background because we're doing a cake design, so we don't want it to be too heavy. We don't want it to be too heavy. Um, yep. And then so now we can start adding text. You don't want it to be too heavy, yeah. And then another thing I also wanted to point out is that in Canva you can actually add in what do you call them now? So say for example, you've created a logo and then you want to do different tests of what the logo would look like on, say for example, a on a website. So there's something called mockup. So I'll just open mockups. So I'll just search for mockups. And then here you see that it's the same thing, like similar to what we did last week, where you can have, say for example, a you want to show that your cake brand you're launching soon. I can just look for this particular background. Yep. I'll move my logo to the front position. So to move it to the front, I selected the logo. I'll go to position and then I'll bring it to front. We might actually need the background on this instead of making it black and white. Instead of making it yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me go back one step, two steps here. Actually, yeah. So what I did was I went to elements. I typed in mockups. Then I picked a sample mockup of what I want to use. Okay, I've seen your assignment. I picked a sample mockup of what I wanted to use. Then, sorry, then this logo that I've already created, I'm just dragging it. So it's like as if I'm using it as an image, and then I can just drop it in that place where a picture should be. And then you see automatically it has brought in that logo and made it like a, what's it called? A, so like the way a billboard would be. So but then imagine this, like say for example you had a client, and then you're trying to create a logo for a brand that wants to be doing that wants to do, so they want to launch, and then they need different, so they want to test out how their logos will look like on different things. So this mock-up is like very very useful in that sense. So you can put it on a t-shirt, you can put it on different things, just to see how your brand would look like. Yep. Okay, so this is one of the other logos that we took from Canva. So I'm just dragging it and then putting it on, different things to test how it's going to look like. Yeah. So I'm just going back to my downloads, dragging this in, and then I'll just select it and then drag it here. So I'm just dragging it and putting it on top of the picture. And then you see automatically I can start having like these mock-ups of how the logo that I'm designing is going to look like on different things. So say I want to see how it will look like on yeah, water bottles. I'll just go back. So underneath uploads, I always have the things I've uploaded here. So everything that we've uploaded, even from the last class, everything will be underneath your uploads. So I can just drag that and put it here. I'm just dragging and dropping, and then you see it automatically shows me what it would look like on a water bottle. Like if I'm putting that particular logo on a water bottle, how is it going to look? So Canva is like very very versatile in that sense, in the sense that you can do different things. So yeah, you can do different things. You can test out your logo creation, and then you can actually see how that logo is going to feature and look like on different things when you put them on, like when you test them on different platforms. So I can also go to frames. So under frames, say for example I wanted to do like an app design, and then I've created the app design, I've created the way it's going to look like elsewhere. Then I can just go here, bring it in here, and then when I go back to elements, I can just type in app video. So app video, um go back to all. Yep. And then I can just see all, no, not photos, we want a video. So I can just look for a video. Say for example I'm doing a commercial, and then I want to show like a video, like somebody on top of it. I'll just click on this and then bring it in. You see, all I just did was I just dragged it, and then I kept it on that place that looked like a picture before. So all I've done is I'm going to filter this so that we use free elements. So free, I can click on it and bring it in and then just drop it in. Or I can just go here and click on this, bring it in. I'll just drag it and bring it in. So you see now what I have now is like a phone kind of, so I have like a phone frame, and then somebody is on top of that phone, or like somebody I'm showing that, oh, you are seeing a video through that phone. And I'm sure that this like has so many usefulness, especially for people that are either in school or people that are in business. So for example, say you wanted to tell a story, like you want to do Instagram reels, and then you want to show that, oh, this is the video that I've taken for my brand. Like you can just use all these different tactics to then engage your audience, to engage the people that are actually watching your video, instead of just having it as one particular frame, and then the only thing that they're just saying is just your business name, like your flyer can then become your flyer, your presentation and all those things can then become like a storytelling process rather than just one static thing. I hope I've not lost everyone. Let me check. Um, yeah. Sorry, so far, as does everyone understand everything I'm saying so far? Can you just type in the comment section? Sorry. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So for oh, we have little time left. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah. So we've done logo design. So I've shown you how to create one using a template. Then so you have like different templates. You can just pick one and then edit that to create your own logo. And I've shown you how to also export a logo so that it doesn't have a background. So the resources that is here as well. So in Canva, to remove the background, you need to be in the pro version. But in the resources that I've uploaded here, there is one that you can actually, yes. So this remove background is a free app. So if I click on remove background, it's like a free app that automatically removes background for you. So I can just reject all, upload an image. Say for example, I can upload an image that has a background. Um, like it could be any image. So if for example I upload this our logo again, upload it, then you automatically remove the background for you, and then you can just download it. And it's free of charge to download. So all of that is in the resources. So please definitely use the resources. Oh, you guys can see my screen, I guess. Yeah, definitely can't see my screen. Apologies about that. So what I was doing was I went to to the resources I uploaded, and then underneath tools and resources, you have a website where you can remove background. So I'll click on this, and then to remove the background, all I just need is to upload the image. So I can look for any image that has like a background. So for example, say this image, open, it will do like AI stuff and remove the background for you. So you just have only the things that are actually in subjects, and it's for free. And then you can just download, and you can link it to Canva as well, and then automatically it just goes into Canva. So all this is just, I'm trying to show you different ways of doing the same thing, but then in the free version instead of having to pay for it. But if you can pay for it, definitely please do. Yeah, and I think that's about it. So that's about it for the logo creation, and then adding videos into frame, adding your logo into frame, putting your designs on things. So for example, we have this cake design. So I'll just add a page. You have this cake design. I can export this. So share, download. Oh, Control Z. Yep. So share. I can download this. JPEG is fine because I need the whole this thing download. Yep, so it's downloaded already. I can just add in another page, And then when I go to elements, I'll type in mockups, um, graphics, and you have different types of mockups. So I can just look for t-shirt. No, yeah, t-shirt mockups, because I think a lot of people do plenty things with t-shirts for some reason. And yep, frames. Let me put shirt instead of t-shirt. Uh, uh, um, mm, yeah, but we don't want the whole design to be the t-shirt, but just so you get the point of it. So I can just drag this in. No, definitely not the whole t-shirt. So uploads, yep, elements. They used to have some really nice t-shirts. Let me just type mockups. Yeah, you can also combine elements. So say for example, I can look for frame. So frame is all, then I can bring in a frame. So say for example, I wanted my logo to be in the middle of this t-shirt and I want it to, so I'll just go to uploads. Then I can drag in, or I want this, my graphics. I'll just drag it in and then it can come in here, or I can just drag it in like this. And then I have like a t-shirt that has like my logo in the center, or it can be like a, so like there's so many things you can do. I'm just trying to show you like the different possibilities in terms of different things that you can create. So it's not just for, oh, I want to create a poster and that poster is it. No, you can do t-shirt designs, you can do app presentations. You can't do app designs, but you can do app presentations. So like present an app idea that you have. So you've already, you can take like the screen record it on your phone, and then bring that screen record into Canva, and then you can put it on a phone kind of frame, which was what we did before. So yeah, I think we can end the class here, like in terms of session. So for tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll recreate the one I sent, so the professional Canva one that I sent to the group this afternoon. So we'll recreate that. We'll recreate that from scratch, and then I'll just show everyone how to achieve that. Please, is there any, oh, so the resources on the Google Drive, the one I sent to the group. But I'll send the link again to the group. Don't worry. I'll send the link again. Um let me just send it now. So yeah, digital creation course, Canva for digital design. Then underneath resources, I can just share this copy link. So yeah, please, if you have any other questions, please drop them in the group. Mm, I've shared the resources on the group. We're trying to catch up. Yes, yes, we are. All right, please. Does anyone have any other questions? What happened, Isaac? Tell me. Did I lose you at any point? What happened? What happened? Where did we lose you? Yeah, so Flourish, I've answered that. You can so I've sent the link on where to get the resources to the I've sent the link on where to get the resources to the WhatsApp group. Does anyone else have any questions so that we can answer? So for this week's assignment, okay, yeah, I can't give assignment yet because we still have tomorrow. But in terms of this week's assignment, I want you to move away from just creating a poster design. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I want you to move away from just creating a poster design or a graphic design to actually doing something else. So like creating a logo, putting things on mock-up. So you say, for example, you want to create a t-shirt for your class department, or you want to create a t-shirt for your business. Use the mock-up aspect to create that. Add your logo to that t-shirt. Add your logo to that jotter. Add your logo to the what's it called, to the water bottle. That's what I want you to do for this week. So for tomorrow's class, we're going to recreate that poster, the one I sent to the group. That it was from a professional, a professional graphics designer did that. So we're going to try to recreate that in Canva. Then we need to do presentation at some point. And then the class after will do animation in Canva and how to create a website. Or yeah. All right. In the absence of any other questions, I would see you in tomorrow's class. You can ask any question. It doesn't have to be necessarily for this class. It can be for anything else. So, are you struggling with time? What resources do you need, etc.? Okay, no other questions. All right, thank you so much. No problem. Thank you so much. Can we reuse the design sent during the week for the logo? Yes, please. Yes, that would be perfect. Because I want you to show progress. So not just, yeah. So you can reuse that, but show progress that, okay, I've tried this. Yeah. Yes, 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 you can. Yeah. For the upcoming assignment, yes, you can. So you can reuse the logo from that. But yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Gertrude. Thank you for joining. So for tomorrow's class, we'll do a poster design. I don't know, we'll try to create a presentation design, or we'll do a poster design and then convert it into a presentation. Yes, PNG is better because PNG you can export it without a background. So by the time you want to use it for other designs, and you bring it in, you won't have that white box around it. But if it's a JPEG, you would always have that white box around it. Yeah, PNG is usually much better because then it can be transparent, or except if what you're trying to look for, like what you're trying to do is that you want it to have the background, then yes, you can just use JPEG. But if you want it to have a transparent background, the best is usually PNG or SVJ. But SVJ is already more technical, so let's just stick to PNG. Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions, please? Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you guys joining tonight. Okay. Is there any problems that you encountered while you were trying to recreate for the last assignments that you just want to point out? I wish I could hear people on this, but yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Thank you.